Good morning. Good morning. Finally tells me I'm live. Early today, we're heading down to the cities for a couple days late celebration for Hunter's birthday. I'll be with you mostly normal times till Monday again. It'll be early on Monday. For those on YouTube, I might not get stuff posted till Monday night or Tuesday. Today we look at Matthew 25, verses 1 through 30. And Jesus is speaking with his disciples, with other people around. I mean, he's been talking about, the second coming. He's been talking about being ready for the second coming, and continuing to have faith. And today we have two parables, the parable of the wise and foolish virgins and the parable of the talents. And in the story of the wise and foolish virgins, there's 10 of them, watching, waiting for the bridegroom. And 5 have extra oil and 5 don't have extra oil. And of course the 5 without oil run out. And the 5 with extra oil don't want to share because, well, then they're going to all run out. And it's it bothers me a little bit that they don't share, but then again, on the other hand, it's a message that, our faith, my faith in Jesus is what I need, and my faith I can share with others, but I can't give them my faith, and I need to continue in my faith and trust in God. And then when the ones that ran out of oil had run home to get more oil and come back, well, then it's too late. And it's, like Jesus had said to the early on, well, let me go and do this and then I'll follow you, or let me do this and I'll follow you. And it's, we need to be ready now, and because we never know when that now will be. And that's what verse 13 says: watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. And so this parable that Jesus is telling is, again, it's about the second coming of Christ. It's not just about earthly things here, but it's telling us that we need to have faith, and we need to be practicing our faith, and we need to be ready with Jesus in our hearts, ready to serve him and to do his will. And it's the same with the parable of the talents. It says this one is like, a person going to travel to a far country, and he's got some money to invest, and he gives 10 talents to one, and 5 talents to one, and 1 talent to another, depending upon, it says, their abilities. And it's a reminder for us that, each and every one of us has different abilities, different strengths, different weaknesses. And, somebody may be, really good with computers. And there are those people, and we need those people. Some people are good with math. Some people are good in dealing with, children, being, daycare, and teachers. And we all have our different skills and abilities. And it's to utilize those, at the very best we can. And this is the message. The one with the 10 talents invests and doubles his money. The one with the 5 talents invests and doubles his money. The one with 1 is so afraid of this master's wrath that he buries it so that he won't take a chance on losing it. And this is the one that is called, kind of worthless, because he just simply buried his talents. And so I guess in some ways, it's a reminder for us that, we need to find our gifts. We need to look for them. And when we find that thing, even maybe if we aren't so real comfortable with that thing, whatever our gift might be, that we need to utilize it and practice it, and just make the very best of it. And and then again, this section, verse 30, is again that warning warning, of heaven and hell, because he says, cast that unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And again, this is when God comes, when Jesus comes back again, there's going to be that separation, and we have, that God is going to judge, and that's tomorrow. As we finish this chapter, it talks about, when Jesus comes again in all of his glory, he's going to judge the nations, and some will be found faithful, and some will be found lacking, and that's what these parables, these last parables, in these last days, just a couple of days, we're going to. Tomorrow we finish chapter 25, and then on Saturday we'll start, the plot to kill Jesus in chapter 26, and so Jesus is giving his disciples clear and concise. I don't know if I should say that exactly, but he's telling them to be ready, to be faithful, to be true to God, to not, it would have been so easy, and it did happen for so many. I don't know, of the 12 disciples that Jesus called. Judas betrayed him, but the others we know remained in their faith. But there were others that, being a Christian, being a follower of Christ, was hard for, and they left. And we can read that in the Bible too, that when Jesus talked with different ones, that some found this was too hard. And it's like that rich young man that came and said, "What must I do?" And and he just went away sad, because he really just wasn't ready to share all of that. So we need to be on guard, to be watching, to be ready, and it's just, Jesus is talking very, very clearly and very concise, that there is a distinction between heaven and hell. And so to be faithful and to be watching, to be ready, is so important. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's been over 2,000 years, and I comment on that every once in a while, but we never know. It might be tomorrow, it may be another 2,000 years. But Jesus says, to be ready, to remain strong in our faith, and to find what skills and abilities that we may have, and utilize them to the very best that we can be.